Got Shawn Porter?
We do. We have
Showtime
Shawn Porter if you guys want to bring him in.
I don't see him. There he is. Hey, Shawn.
No one's taking a punch from Mike. No one's taking a punch from Mike.
Would I die?
In the body?
Thank you. If he punched me in the face, would I die?
You could.
The body is fine. The head, now you got problems.
If Mike Tyson punched, I got a big belly, right? If Mike Tyson punched me once in the stomach, how effed up would I be?
I think you'd be all right. You might crap out some things that you're not used to crapping out for a little while, but you'd be all right. But the head, there's gonna be a lot of things you don't remember, and you don't want that.
I can't do that. So I'll take the stomach punch for a million.
Sean, why? See, this is the thing. I only know all my boxing from fight night. That's it. I don't know nothing else besides fight night.
Stop it.
That's a shame.
We're old.
I'm old. Fight night.
Tyvis is mad. Tyvis, let's be honest.
Sean, tell him how important how big this fight is.
Tyvis is mad because G and I don't know as much about boxing these days. We loved boxing when we were younger.
Loved it.
My friends and I would watch.
We'd
watch every Mike Tyson fight. We watched Hagler. We watched Hearns. We watched all those guys back in the day. But we don't watch boxing. G and I don't watch boxing regularly anymore.
That's a shame.
Tyvis loves it. Earl loves it. And we're trying to put together a party now to watch this fight because he's telling us how big it is. Is this one of the biggest fights in a long time?
One of the biggest fights in a long time. We had Booker T on my podcast yesterday, the Porterway podcast. Definitely want you guys to follow that. I follow your show, and I watch it all the time when I'm on YouTube. So y'all got to watch my show too. All right?
Hold on, wait. What is it? Because I'm about to subscribe right now. What is it? What is it called?
The Porterway podcast. But listen, though, I had Booker T on just yesterday. He said this is probably the most excited he's been in probably about 30 years. He said there's been some really big fights. He said, boy, a true 50-50 fight where you don't know who's going to win, but you do know it's going to be exciting from beginning to end. He said, I ain't felt nothing like this in 30 years. I said, yeah, that sounds about right.
That's what I'm saying,
yeah, man. I truly do. I hate for people to miss this one because you really miss. You get a lot of people that talk about what boxing is and what boxing used to be and what boxing, people don't know what boxing is and all that. You're going to find out everything you want to know from boxing in this fight right here.
Sean, what is it about these two fighters and their style, that stands out above the rest of the other boxers?
Here's the thing. They literally have it all. You got one fighter who's extremely conventional. What I mean by that, he's textbook. Everything is right. Straight jabs, straight right hands. He's throwing the hooks where they need to be. He's a great body puncher. He applies the pressure, and he can also move if he needs to, and that's Errol Spence Jr. And on the other side of that, you got a wild card kind of fighter who can do just about anything you need to do to win a fight. And I think the other reason why everybody is so excited about this fight, what boxing we refer to is having dog. Basically, having dog is having that courage, that go through anything to win a fight. And we all know that neither one of these fighters are going to be willing to stop. Neither one of these fighters are going to want to quit. And that's why everybody loves this fight. You get all the technical stuff that you want out of boxing, but you also get that warrior that you want to see. And you got two warriors in the ring. It doesn't happen. Usually you get a warrior that doesn't have the skills. You get a warrior that doesn't have the power. You get a warrior that doesn't have the speed. You got this is a complete fight, top to bottom.
Sean, when I look at it, and this is so funny. I remember growing up, and you grow up, and I remember I had cousins who live in the hood, and they, to me, anytime there was a fight, it was just like they would get the fight, and you be over there. You like, man, you might see some weed, you might see some a few pistols, you might see pit bulls off the leash. But the cool thing about it was, you be like, this is forbidden. It was dangerous. You watching boxing, people could get knocked out. Back then, it just seemed like they had that energy level. Why do you think? I got a couple, theories. Like it's like when you take a look at the belts. I don't know who owns the belts. Like, I don't know who's the contender, who has the belt, who's doing what.
Got you. Sorry about that.
I don't know exactly, who's the contender. And I don't know really. We can't watch. We can't really watch the boxers come up. They're 33-0, right?
I think one is 33-0, one 29-0.
So some people aren't even gonna have not seen one of their fights and build up to that. So, what do you think is one of the main reasons that boxing, I won't say it's stagnant, but it needs to, needs fights like this to keep going?
Just a second, by the way, guys. I think Shawn dropped his phone and disconnected for a minute.
Oh yeah, I did.
Well, why don't you do one
in.
of the things there?
Yeah, this will be our last one actually for the day. So I just would like to remind everybody that Behind the Glass podcast is run by Mike, Earl, and I, and it's on usually Wednesday nights around 7. Go ahead and tune in. You can subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show and get notifications from when we go live. And gift memberships today. Yeah. We've got gifted memberships today. It's been a good day, and look forward to our Browns post-game coverage this coming season.
Yeah, it's huge. Hey, what time is the fight? Do we know?
What time they gonna fight?
Yeah, is it gonna be like
probably midnight?
That's
I know, because I go to sleep at 11 o'clock every night, but I got to stay up for this. I can't. You cannot miss this fight.
I'm thinking about having you guys over to my house, but is everybody going to stay up till? I mean, you gonna be able to come?
It's going to be a late night.
That's the hardest part right there.
I don't know. I might put together a party. All right, we got Shawn back. Shawn, I'm curious. When you
I want to answer the question that he had before.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish up.
Because he's right, and I think a lot's riding on this fight.
Yeah.
I do believe that boxing has already started to move into a new wave, and it started to kind of move into a wave of the best fighting the best, which is everybody what everybody wants to see. I think people are starting to become better connected to boxing. The fighters, it's not about being connected to the belts. And I think for so long, people have been connected to the belts. There's so many belts out there that people are just confused and they just don't want to deal with it. People are starting to get back connected to the fighters. And I think that's the difference with now and back then. To the point of the question, people were showing up with dogs, showing up. I mean, there's women in the room, men in the room, kids in the room. And everything was happening until the main event started. And once that main event started, we're all locked and focused on what's about to happen. And it's because people were connected to the fighters.
Yeah.
I think people got disconnected to the fighters, connected to the belts, and then it just became this, whoever's got the belts is the guy. And we don't know who the guy truly is because there's so many belts. This fight is going to bring boxing, I think, back to a space that it hasn't been in a long time.
Shawn, do you think that Floyd messed up things by having the undefeated record, and that's why some certain guys duck and dodge other opponents because they want to stay undefeated?
I think when Floyd, this is what I truly think. When Floyd was doing what he was doing, I think boxing was transitioning. And the transitioning that was happening, fighters were learning what Floyd was doing and started to learn this is not just a sport anymore. This is no longer about trophies. This is about money. How can I squeeze this lemon dry? And also, for the sake of words, stay safe doing it. And I think that wave too has gone on. I think that fighters have learned they learn the business and learn how to, for the sake of words, milk the business. And now it ain't about milking the business no more. It's back to who can I have great, exciting fights with, also make that money, take care of my family, but do something and leave a legacy. Boxing is getting back to the legacy, which I think was one of the lost arts for a long time.
Do you think they promote enough? Not in the sense of promoters. Like, I think one of the big things with social media is, like, that's why you see a Jake Paul or some of these other guys that are just on TikTok. Like, we get an opportunity now where we're closer than ever to our athletes. And we want to see, all right, what you doing, how you moving, what's your next fight, with your thought process. Do you think there's enough people self-promoting themselves and indoctrinating and showing people, a new generation, this is what we about?
I'll use these two guys for an example because they're probably the best example. Neither guy really likes to be on their social media a whole lot. neither guy really likes to do the whole camera and report interview thing a whole lot. They're comfortable doing it, but they don't really like to do it. If I was the promoter, what I would have done is say, hey, I'm giving you guys each $25,000 extra. I need 2 posts a day. A post when you wake up in the morning, maybe even a post in the middle of the day, and then a post when you go to sleep. I don't care what you post, just post something. Get people to notice you and notice this fight. I think that these guys did not do enough posting for themselves to get people more excited and amped up about this fight. Let's be real. Social media is real, is live, is relevant, and it will get you places that a promotional company can no longer get you. And I think that these guys needed to do that, should have done that.
Shawn, what is your? I know you fought both of these guys. What is your relationship like? Like, do you when you fight a guy, do you like in Rocky and Apollo became friends? Do guys ever become friends?
Right.
After they fight each other?
I don't think these guys are going to become friends. I think it's going to take a little while, especially if we have a loser on Saturday night. I think it's going to take a while for those guys to become friends. Myself and Terence Crawford, we have been friends since we were about 15, 16 years old. And that friendship is still live today and vibrant, even though we had the fight that we had. Actually had him on my podcast the day after the fight. And then with Errol, my friendship with Errol, we've been able to have some phone conversations here or there. We play pickup basketball together, but in the lead up to this fight, I haven't had any conversations with him. Yeah. He didn't respond to any text messages or phone calls. So it's the way it goes, and I think that there's true animosity here, and I hope that things through the course of this fight don't really heat up to a point that these guys want to do anything extra. I don't think either of them have the mindset to do anything outside of what it entails to win a boxing match. But in this one right here, man, I think anything's possible.
So are you biased in this fight, or who you think gonna win?
I'm truly biased because I do have a strong friendship with Terence Crawford. But when I do take my bias out, I do think that this is a 50-50 fight. A fight that can go 1 round or a fight that could truly go 12 rounds. And, you know, I say that because I truly want people to get invested into this fight, pay what it costs to watch this fight, because you're going to see something amazing. Even if this fight were to go 1 round, it would be an amazing first round victory. I don't see that. I think it goes 12. And if it goes 10, I mean, we got 10 amazing rounds that we saw. So I want everybody to tune in this one. Order that Showtime pay-per-view.
Now, you know, we talk about it all the time, you know, from perspective of different sports. You know, I played in college, Tyvis played in the pros, and one thing that I just didn't like was just like I wasn't no conditioning guy. Like I don't want to, like, I'm not about to just be out here. But at least in conditioning in football is sport specific. So all right, go chase the ball carrier. That's some cardio. All right, do some lifting exercises. With boxing, like, I mean, were you one of those guys that was just born to be like, okay, well, I like working out, or do you just hate it? It's grueling. You don't want to do it. You just would rather box, but you know it is, and that's part of the game to be where you need to go to.
Yeah, if I trained for 8 weeks, I was miserable for 6 of those 8 weeks, and then my favorite week to train was the week before the fight. Why? Because you know how it is playing football. You got those days where you just taper and you ain't doing too much. Yeah, right. I couldn't wait to not do too much. You know what I mean? But boxing is really the only sport that you need every other sport to get you ready for this, for a 12-round fight. What I mean by that is we're swimming, we're bike riding, we're doing sprint workouts, we're doing long distance workouts. I've even seen people. I used to do football workouts. I used to do basketball, play basketball, all those things. This is the only sport you need all of the other sports to get ready for a 12-round fight.
Man, that's crazy, man. That is crazy, man.
Crazy.
So
I told them the other day, I said, boxing is the only sport that I know of where you have to totally ignore the thing that we have naturally given to us at birth, which is self-preservation. You have to ignore self-preservation. You're going to be tired. You're going to be bleeding. You're going to be confused. You're gonna be hurt to the body, the whole nine. You gotta ignore all that. And you gotta keep going. That's the only way to victory.
Shawn, last thing, having nothing to do with boxing. Are you? How's your confidence level in the Browns right now at the start of training camp?
I need to see Deshaun do something. All of my confidence is in Deshaun Watson. If he does not perform, I don't have much confidence in the team. I'm hoping that he can get back to playing to game day speed. We all know that speed is different, and I think it took him all of 6 games for him to get back adjusted to that game time speed. So I think I hope that he comes in ready for the game time. If he does, we got some electricity coming from the Browns, and we're back where we were 2 seasons ago, where we were really fighting in the playoffs. What was that? 2 seasons ago or 3?
3.
3 seasons ago, man. I want to get
Flies
back to that, man. That was a hell of a year for us, man.
Yeah, felt
even
good.
Even though we didn't win it, like for us to go as far as we did, that was special. And I want to be able to taste that. You know, I can't be too greedy talking about Super Bowl, but hey, give me some food, man. Get me in the second round in the playoffs, baby.